Hello everyone and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Clive Christian. The fragrance is known as Clive Christian's V. This is the bottle and the presentation, sorry about that. This is actually a travel size bottle that was sent and is basically the sample that they gave me. Now this is 10 milliliters. The actual bottle is actually a 50 milliliter bottle and looks something like this. Now that's going to go ahead and run you about $405. So this fragrance, Clive Christian, is actually marketed as the world's most expensive perfume. So this was actually sent to me, in it. It's got like this packet, as well as some information on the actual fragrance itself. And I don't know, I'm not really a fan of their designs for their bottles just because, they come off across as okay. For the world's most expensive perfume, I kind of would expect a little bit more in terms of design, or maybe the design just isn't to my liking. Like, I guess you could say, I still think one of the best designs are by Killian bottles. But either way, I mean, it's a bottle. At the end of the day, it's a bottle. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the actual review. Now, the notes of this fragrance consist of, at our top, we have elemi balm, citrus, pink pepper, black pepper, white pepper, nutmeg, iris, amber, cedarwood, amberwood, frankincense, vetiver, vanilla, and agar wood. Sorry about that. There was no top. It's just all of the actual notes for this fragrance, okay? So what you get when you spray this fragrance, I gotta tell you right off the bat, be very careful. Do not use your first initial spray to even be your guiding meter for the fragrance. The fragrance changes vastly throughout the entire time that you are wearing it. It'll change from 1 minute to another, and all of the notes that you have that are listed in this actual fragrance that I just listed, you will get at one point or another. That's what I found out. When I first sprayed and applied this scent, I got a heavy frankincense scent. The scent quickly reminded me of Epic Man from Amouage. It's another one of my favorites actually, where it's got frankincense, it's got oud, and that's really what you get from the start of this, to me at least. Frankincense and oud. And then it kind of has this incensey type of smell to it. And I was really surprised because I'd heard that this was a very peppery scent, and it's got 3 peppers listed in it: white pepper, pink pepper, and black pepper. And I was really surprised that I wasn't getting more of it. Wait another hour. After an hour, the pepper shows up, and it shows up in force. I mean, at one point or another, it'll show up at different times, at different places, but don't give up on the pepper. If you're not smelling it 1 minute, give it some time, it'll come out, and it comes out heavy. That's actually the part of the fragrance that I don't like. I'm not a fan of fragrances that are way too heavy, way too peppery, at least on that aspect, because a heavily peppery fragrance will start to make me sick a little bit, and that's kind of what it does. But again, give it some time and it'll change again. Once it changes again, I start to get a little bit more different notes. I get a little bit heavier oud again, I get a little bit more of the fragrance sense, and I also get a little bit more of like the amber and a little bit of the iris that actually comes out in it. Elemi balm is also a heavy fragrance. Basically, if I was to really describe this fragrance, I would say you're going to get a combination of all these notes that you have listed in, and they're going to cycle through and go throughout and change as it's on your skin longer and longer. This is definitely a scent that you apply to your skin, you give it time, because it's going to change over and over again. I like it when you first spray it on. I'm not really a fan of the pepper phase, if you will, for this fragrance, but the rest of the phases I like on this scent. They come across to me as they come across overall as like a dark fragrance, a fragrance that you wear closer to the skin, a very mature vibe, a very refined vibe. I can definitely say that this fragrance has quality to it. Now, as far as quality that'll translate into, well, the best smelling scent that I've ever come across, no, I wouldn't say that, but I will say that it is a good fragrance that you're actually looking at for this. All that aside, I go generally about 3 sprays with this fragrance. Now, 3 sprays might actually be on the heavier side. I think you can get away with 2 and be perfectly fine with it. I kind of was toying around with sprays because the one thing that this kind of lacks is a good amount of projection. This is one, again, that wears a little bit closer to the skin. It's not a complete skin scent, but somebody's going to have to get up closer to you in order to smell it. It's not going to leave a big scent trail, big sillage trail, but it does last about 12 hours. Season-wise, I think this is a great fall and a great summer, fall and spring scent. By that, I mean, in a temperate climate, you don't want it to be too hot. I think it can get a little gross if it's too hot. And by gross, I mean, at least for me, it's going to give me, I want to say stomach problems. It'll make me nauseous a little bit. On the flip side, when it's cool, I think is really where this will shine the most. And by cool, I mean the fall weather when it's starting to cool down a bit. Even those cold spring mornings, stuff like that, I think this will be a good scent for them. Now, moving on, occasion-wise, I think this is a good work fragrance. Work fragrance because it's not going to be screaming and shouting, and you're definitely going to smell unique. I'll give you that. You're definitely going to smell unique, and you're also going to smell, have like mature vibe. It's a very serious fragrance on that. It's not really a playful fragrance at all. In the fragrance sense, it's really a type of a scent where it's, you put it on, and it's like you mean business. And that's kind of what Clive Christian's V comes off as. Now, age group wise, I've alluded to this. I think this is for older gentlemen. For people who are at least of, let's say, 25, no, sorry, not 25, at least like 30, 35 years old at the lower range and up, basically. So older guys, if you're looking for a good scent to wear to work, check out Clive Christian's V. Now, as far as compliments goes, I didn't really get that many compliments on this scent. I got one compliment, one true compliment, and that was when I was actually really up close to someone. Just we were sitting in line, we were standing in line, and she commented, "Oh, that smells good. That smells pretty unique," is what she said. She said, "It smells good. It smells pretty unique." But outside of that, this didn't really come off as a huge compliment getter type of fragrance. This is definitely one that you're going to have to personally like, just because of the fact that it's very, I guess you could say, varied in terms of how it comes off on your skin. So definitely try and get a sample of this if you can before running out and blind buying it and trying it on your skin. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating of a 7 out of 10. Now, why is it a 7 out of 10? It's a 7 out of 10. I'm not taking price fully into consideration. If I took price fully into consideration, I would actually have to put this down at probably like a 6 out of 10. Now, I should also explain my ratings again and make sure 6 out of 10 doesn't mean 60%. 5 is the middle ground where I basically say, meh, this is an average type of fragrance. So this is a little bit above average. The quality on this fragrance is outstanding. It's top notch. If you're looking for, and there are not going to be many people who are looking for it, but if you're looking for a different type of an oud scent, if you're looking for a different type of a frankincense type of a scent, take a look at this one. It's on the pricier side again, but it's extremely unique. This is one that changes constantly. It's one that's you're gonna have to monitor on your skin, see how it's smelling from hour to hour. Literally, it will keep changing on your skin. That aside, it doesn't last long, or not doesn't last long, but it doesn't really project. And it suffers from the same problem that I have with Epic Man. And if you want to see my Epic Man review, you can search for it, Epic Man Amouage. It'll pop up on YouTube. But in that, I mentioned the same problem, and that's I have trouble figuring out where to wear this outside of work. And really, that's it. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, let me know. Send me a message, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you, take care of yourselves, and have a great day.